15 minutes and be
in a forest.
Yeah, or where did we always go? Beluga Point.
Oh yeah.
Like just be on the sea in mountains.
Yeah. In my backyard, if you actually just open the door to it, it's like a straight up just forest. Mm-hmm. It's really nice. Well, cause like I would
Coupon.
You don't go to Joanne's Buck coupons.
I don't think
he
anybody.
wouldn't be a Joanne shopper if he didn't have to.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
really like Sareen's Joanne's video. She's one of them.
For the base portion, I got just a big chunk of PVC pipe from Home Depot, and some vinyl flooring as well for the wood texture.
I like
Actually,
that idea. That's such a really smart idea.
This whole thing, the whole roll is right there. Actually, that was all just scrap. And I was waiting for the guy at the flooring department. I was like, you know, this is gonna sound weird, but I need some vinyl flooring for a weapon prop. And he's like, well. I have some scrap right over there if you want to take a look at it. I was like, well, why not? And it turns out it was the exact same like color and texture that I needed. And I was like, you know what? I'll take it. And he's like, okay, I'll give you like a discount for like $15. And I was like, you just made my day, man.
Oh, this is Alaska's first Olive Garden.
Is it the only Olive Garden in Alaska?
Maybe. There's
think
not
so.
one in Juneau, and there's not one in like anywhere I know.
Yeah, I think this is the only one. We got a lot of the like, yeah. That's...
So, what are the weird things that people think about that you have encountered that people think that Alaska is about, or what? Let me try it again. I'm really bad at this. Okay, what are misconceptions people have about Alaska and its people?
Mostly that we live in igloos, which we don't. As you can see, this is a house.
No, it's a two-story canoe with a satellite dish and a two-car garage.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys are fancy igloos out here.
Yeah, mostly that and that, like he said, polar bears be roaming around.
There's always snow everywhere. We all live in igloos. We have pet polar bears. We ride moose to work. Just stuff like that, you know. Honestly, I think people still believe like the snow everywhere thing all times a year. I think some people probably still believe that, and that kind of makes a bit of sense. Like, we don't obviously have it all the times of the year, but there's that, and then I think the igloo thing too. Some people actually still believe that.
So do you need it marked?
No, I don't think I'm gonna need a mark.
Well, right there is
You
where
think
your
so?
hands were.
Okay.
Now, are you just making noise or actually threading?
It's threaded.
Go somewhere else! You need to be in here with us cosplayers.
This is actually your first year.
This is both of our first year doing cosplay.
So, what made you decide that this is a year that it'll be it?
I've always wanted to try it, but I needed, I guess, to have somebody like my best friend who would
Hi,
do
best
it with
friend.
me, so that I wouldn't feel so nervous or weirded out by being in a costume. But Halloween is, she can tell you, like one of my favorite holidays. So I love dressing up. So I was like, if we're going to SenshiCon this year, we're definitely going to do a cos. And she was like, yeah, we are. And then we always say that we're going to do something, and then we never do it. So this year I was like, we're going to do a cause. And I knew if I started working on mine, she would work on hers.
Ah.
So as soon as I started working on mine, she was like, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. And she researched, and then she found one that she really liked. I think we saw somebody else do Yurichi.
Yeah.
Another black cosplayer.
Yeah.
That did Yurichi, and she was like, I want to do that one. So
Yeah. I think that was the one thing that we had problems with, is that when you go to cause or whatever, they always judge people a lot of the times. And us being black and then at the same time being bigger women, we were kind of, scared of that. At least I was. I know I was.
yeah.
So now this year we're like, we are 35, Yeah, we gonna do this.
I'm
We gotta
not
do it.
35. Don't.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm 35, but you're 30. What? 32?
30, 33 ish.
It does go for a while.
Yeah, there's a giant gravel pit next to the house. So,
Go, 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 go. I love it. We gotta eat all the pretty girls. That anime was weird.
it was so weird. I loved it. But it's like the same dude that did Utenya. Or
Utena. Or Utena? Is it Utena? I don't know. That's besides the point. But yeah, that was also a very weird anime that I loved.
the good old days for me were not the good old days. You had really crappy wigs that like had shone brighter than the sun. You had costume satin, which was made for like every costume because like, you know, fabric options back then just weren't available. You didn't have like the same type of techniques available. Like people were, it was cool in the fact that people were creating these things, but you didn't know how to like dye a wig with fabric dye. You used Sharpies and like a bucket. Like it's, I don't know. I'm all for change in cosplay because it just means that we're continuing to grow, and that means that, you know, there's change, and change is good. So
It took me forever to put these dots on here. I procrastinated for weeks.
She did. And I was like, you know, you gotta put your dots on this. You know, you got your dots. So
that's-
probably should do them.
That's the good
You
thing
gotta
about
do the back
doing
of the
it,
shirt. You
right?
gotta do your dots.
Because it's been like a week since I've been over here to work on it. But that's the good thing about having somebody that you're doing it with, is because you always have somebody that'll push you to get it done.
I think the most part with cosplay for me, it's the best reality escape. You can just put on whatever you want, express who you are, and you don't have to just say, it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to be this person for Halloween, or I'm just going to be doing this once a year. As a cosplayer, people shop at Halloween stores. They're like, oh, I got to pick this Halloween costume. And I'm just like, yeah, I'll just pick up what I have left over and bring it to the party. Yeah, it surprised me when I just saw it 10 years ago, and it was only their like third con back in 2007. It just like blew up. Exploded. And then of course, when we took over the Egan Center, I was like, you're kidding.
And then when you outgrew that one,
And when we outgrew that one, like, I was on the phone with a friend, and person said, yeah, we're taking over Deshia Center. I just said, so just the first level, possibly? They're like, oh, we're taking over all of it. I'm like,
mind blown.
you're crazy. You are crazy.
You have to get used to people wanting to take your picture. You have to get used to, you know, people making comments and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it was very nervous, and it was the first time that I was out in public, because for my Navi costume it was like a skirt and then like my midriff was showing, so it was like I kind of just went all out. I was like, all right, here I am, basically. So I was very nervous about it because I don't know, I was nervous.
Was there anything to be nervous about after the whole experience?
Nope.
Nope.
And I think that's what helped me go on to like doing my Captain America, doing something bigger than that.
Awesome. You say you're known for that. Tell me about that whole experience.
It was surprising actually. Like, I decided that because Captain America is one of my favorite characters, I actually have a tattoo of him on my thigh, and I decided that I wanted to cosplay him, but I really like putting that gender bent twist on a lot of stuff. And I think the biggest thing, and it was silly first time cosplayer's mistake, was I tried to actually make my shield out of sheet metal and like bang it and
Are you
scorch
serious?
it. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was a terrible experience. I ended up getting, it's like this photo paper that they use to frame pictures with.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty firm, and like cutting out a template from that and putting it on top of the metal shield and just covering up the mess that was underneath. But it was terrible. It looked like a garbage can lid after I was done with it. Yep. I remember just being in my mom and dad's yard and just banging away at it. But definitely not something I would ever do again.
Just do it. If you could go back in time and talk to your younger self, hey Fletcher, what advice would you give to your younger self?
I would tell my younger self not to be afraid.
Not to be afraid. What were you afraid of?
Just, it looks very intimidating, but once you get the hang of it, it's definitely worth it. And to not be so shy because you've met some great people along the way.
What you just made me do. Look what you made me do. What you made me do.